Am I the a-hole for exposing my ex-fiance's mistress 12 years later? 12 years ago, I, 36 female, was engaged and about to get married to Carl, fake name. Everything in my life seemed perfect, until I found out my fiancé was having an affair with a new hire at his job named Camilla, 20s female. Both of them were in serious relationships at a time. I broke off the engagement with Carl as soon as I found out, and informed Camilla's boyfriend about the cheating. It was hard for me, but I moved on after months of therapy and the support of my friends and family. Now, I am married to Henry, 41 male, my amazing husband and the father of our children, 9 female, 7 male, and 4 female. Years ago, I moved to the other side of the country and never thought about my ex-fiancé or the cheating again. My husband works at a law firm. Last year, they hired a new lawyer, Daniel, 34 male, who moved with his family to live in our area. He and my husband became very good friends, as they have similar interests and personalities. Henry asked me to invite Daniel's family to our house to help them adjust to the new city and his new job. When Daniel came to my house for a play date for our kids, his kids are 4 male and 2 female, he introduced us to his wife, Cam, 30s female. Well, Cam was Camilla. I didn't know how to react when I recognized her, and I had the impression that she recognized me too. Our husbands didn't understand why everything seemed so tense, and we both pretended not to know each other, making awkward and failed attempts at small talk. After about an hour, Camilla made up an excuse and her family left. Henry noticed my behavior and asked me what was going on. I told him everything. He already knew about my past with Carl and the affair. Later that day, I received a text from Camilla begging me not to tell Daniel about our past. I read the message but didn't reply. I decided not to say anything and to mind my own business. This was not my problem anymore. After a week of silence, Daniel showed up at our doorstep looking very agitated. He talked to my husband alone, and afterward, Henry asked me to tell Daniel my version of everything. Like my husband, Daniel realized something strange had happened during our meeting and had spent the week trying to get answers from his wife. She refused to tell him what happened, and instead tried to claim that I was her ex-boyfriend's side chick, which was why things had been so tense. Daniel didn't believe her story, and they had a massive fight. Afterward, he realized I was the one who could tell him the truth, and he asked me directly. I told him everything. I even showed him the text message Camilla had sent me. I didn't feel the need to sugarcoat anything, especially since Camilla was out there spreading lies about me. Daniel was in complete shock because cheating is a trigger for him. His father cheated on his mother for years and left the family for his mistress, which made him hate cheaters. Camilla had known this since their first date. Daniel left our house looking defeated, and later that same day, I received a call from Camilla accusing me of being a vengeful bee. She said I was trying to destroy her life. I don't think I was wrong for telling the truth, but this happened last year, and I still receive calls and random messages from people close to Camilla saying I'm an a-hole for exposing her past to her husband. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. You told the truth after she told lies. Did she expect you to go along with what she said so you could be the bad guy for as long as your husband and Daniel are workmates? I don't know what she was thinking. I have no reason to lie to cover her. This is a perfect example of F around and find out. She didn't think her poor choices from the past would come back to haunt her. She deserves what comes. Not the a-hole. Not the a-hole. You are the hero of this story. Actions have consequences. You did nothing wrong. It merely stated facts and truth about what happened between Camilla and your ex-fiancé. It would have been wrong for you to lie to Daniel as he deserved to know the truth to make an informed and decision. If it were you, I'm sure you would have wanted the same consideration as I know I definitely would have. Text Camilla, sorry to hear about you and Daniel, but hey, maybe you and Carl can get something going again. Funny thing is that after our engagement broke off, she did try to date Carl and he kicked her to the curb. I heard this from mutual friends. Next story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to forgive my ex-best friend and other friends even after 6 years? I, 28 female, used to be best friends with Anna, 28 female, since high school. She was popular and outgoing, while I was the introverted, nerdy friend. In high school, I had a crush on Ethan, 28 male, but I assumed he'd prefer Anna, so I stayed out of it. They started dating and I supported her reluctantly because of their toxic on and off relationship. Over time, I grew to dislike Ethan because he was rude and mean. They broke up when we were 21 but got back together a year later and eventually got engaged when we were 23. 3 months before the wedding, Ethan drunkenly called me, asking why I rejected him. I dismissed him, told him he was drunk, and ended the call. The very next day, I was kicked out of group chats and ghosted by everyone in our friend circle. When I texted my friends to ask what happened, they gave me the silent treatment. When I reached out to Anna, I found myself blocked. Desperate, I even tried calling Ethan, but my number was blocked too. I had no idea what I'd done wrong and wished someone would tell me. That week was hell. Anna's silence hurt the most because, at a time, she meant everything to me. I barely slept, battling panic attacks at night while trying to keep it together for class during the day. If not for my supportive roommates who helped me through my panic attacks, I don't know how I would have made it through. Anna and I attended the same local university but took different courses. I waited for her outside her class. When she came out with her friends, I pulled her aside and asked what was going on. She accused me of being a fake friend who tried to steal Ethan. I denied her accusation and asked for proof, but she went silent and walked away. They didn't unfriend me on Facebook but kept posting about their hangouts in a bridal shower, along with indirect jabs at me. I eventually deleted my old account and changed my number. I slowly rebuilt my self-esteem and moved on. I recently created a new Facebook account. A few days ago, I was added to a group chat for our upcoming reunion which I hadn't known about. They greeted me, calling me class president, as if they hadn't shunned me 6 years ago. I left the group, but they kept messaging me. Anna kept calling, so I finally picked up out of annoyance. She told me she was sorry for everything and wanted me to come to the class reunion party. She said a party didn't seem complete without the class president there every year. She also told me she divorced Ethan after 2 years of marriage. She said she had tried to reach out to me but couldn't find any of my socials or contact info after we graduated. I asked her why she was telling me all this when she wasn't important to me anymore. She cried. I ended the call and continued ignoring their messages on Messenger. My family says forgiveness is for my own peace and that it doesn't mean forgetting. But I don't feel anything anymore, only indifference. I don't owe them anything to ease their guilt. So am I the a-hole? 3 months before the wedding, Ethan drunkenly called me asking why I rejected him. You know what happened, right? Ethan wanted to date you, but Anna told him you rejected his interest, so he dated her. And him calling you made her feel threatened that her shady actions might be found out, so she then made up more lies that turned other friends against you. Now it's been long enough, and Ethan is no longer around that she feels safe bringing you around again, so she hit you up. Odds are others told her to reach out because y'all were such good friends. And if you refuse to go, she'll tell them something that makes you look bad as your reason. Regardless of whether you go or not, I'd contact someone who will be there and tell them that you won't attend because of the horrible way Anna treated you and that you just wanted someone to know the truth so that Anna can't lie about you yet again. Don't go if you don't want to, but don't let her get away with lying about you again. It's been 6 years and I know I've healed and found better friends. My current best friends are the roommates who supported me during university. But why does it still hurt? Despite everything, I always believed my friendship with Anna was genuine. Honestly, I doubt she even cares. She probably only reached out because she needed something from me. I have no interest in being friends with them anymore, but I just want to know the truth. If I ask why they abandoned me back then, would they even be honest? Or would they just shift the blame onto each other? Anna's always been the leader of their group. Whatever she says, everyone follows. Last story. Update. How can someone who isn't invited to a wedding be considered responsible for giving a gift? Original post. I would appreciate any advice or suggestions on how to approach this situation. I'll change the names of those involved. I have a group of friends, though not all of them are truly close to me. Most of them are more friends by association, but we all go out together and have a good time. I do consider Maddie and Jessie to be real friends. For Maddie's birthday, I got her a cake. Jessie had a small civil wedding, and Maddie offered to bring wine for the celebration at her place while I offered to bring a cake. There's a girl in a group named Carly, and my relationship with her is neither friendly nor unfriendly. She's always shown some apathy toward me, and I know she doesn't really like me. I don't dislike her, but I get the sense we wouldn't be friends since we have different perspectives. During the celebration, Carly commented that she liked the cake, and Jessie mentioned that I had brought it. Carly said it was good, but tasted a bit dry. Everyone exchanged looks and changed the subject, but Carly kept talking about the cake. I didn't say anything about it. Carly had been planning her wedding before Jessie got married. She used to invite Maddie, Jessie, and other girls to discuss prices and ask for opinions, but she never asked for my help or advice. I assumed I wasn't going to be invited. Everyone else got an invitation, and I wasn't surprised when I didn't receive one. Jessie wanted to talk to Carly about it, but I asked her not to, as I didn't want a pity invitation and understood that Carly wouldn't invite me because we're not friends. Jessie told me she wouldn't attend if it would make me feel bad, but I told her not to worry about it. Then, Carly messaged me on WhatsApp to ask about cake designs and filling options. I thought she already had that figured out since her wedding was coming up and she'd been planning it for a while. I sent her the catalog, and she commented on a few options she liked. She asked if I did a setup, to which I replied yes and sent her some sample photos. She only reacted to the photos with a thumbs up, and we didn't talk any further. She didn't ask for a quote or schedule a consultation, so I assumed she wasn't interested in my services. This was over a month ago. Today we went out to eat and everyone was talking about the wedding. Her fiancé asked who I'd be bringing. I'm single, so I told him I wouldn't be attending. He asked why, and to keep the mood light and avoid drama, I mentioned I'd be traveling to visit my parents. He understood, but Carly asked me when I was leaving. I told her I'd be leaving on Wednesday, and she said, "The wedding's on Saturday. How are you going to set up the cake and desserts?" I asked which cake she was referring to, and she replied, "The one you're bringing to my wedding." I told her we didn't have anything scheduled, and she insisted she had our messages. I clarified that I had only given her options and set up photos, and since she didn't follow up, I assumed she wasn't interested. Her fiancé asked if anything could be done about it. I explained that the bakery requires a contract and a deposit. Maddie asked if Carly had paid a deposit or requested a contract. Carly replied, asking why she would need to, since it was my wedding gift to her, and that I should make sure she had her cake for Saturday. I explained that I don't handle the bakery schedule, and that with the wedding so close, they wouldn't accept a new order. Carly seemed upset and looked very uncomfortable. I asked for my bill, paid, and said goodbye, saying I needed to go. I really don't want to lose my friendship with a group, since I'm not from this city and have felt uncomfortable with them. I don't want to create tension, but I also don't know how to handle conflicts. I know it's a bit sad that I can't stand up for myself and would rather avoid confrontation. Maddie told me that after I left, Carly said it wasn't fair for me to back out after agreeing, and some people in the group hinted that maybe I didn't want to go to the wedding because I didn't want to give her the cake. Jessie said I wasn't invited, and Carly replied that she had invited me. Now for the top comments before reading the update. It's not okay for her to expect a gift, especially a big cake, from someone she didn't even invite to her wedding. You were right to tell her you hadn't agreed to make the cake. It makes sense that you wouldn't want to give something so big to someone who doesn't seem to like you very much. And especially for me to give her that gift when we don't even have a relationship. Message all your friends and Carly in a group chat and clearly state that she didn't invite you. And for future interactions, there is nothing wrong to say that you haven't been invited when you haven't been invited. Update. I read a comment suggesting this is how updates are done here, so I hope those who gave me advice and asked for an update can see this. To those who ask why I didn't stand up for myself and let things get so out of hand, as I mentioned before, I don't like confronting people. I get nervous and feel like I can't breathe. When I had presentations in school, I used to throw up before and after each one. Sometimes, I've even kept items I didn't order or didn't want because I was too embarrassed to exchange them. I've been in therapy, and thanks to that, I'm now able to work as a cashier in a bakery. I don't think I could have done that before. I've come a long way, but I still get nervous speaking in public. I have a younger sister who used to go everywhere with me. I'd give her the money and she would pay, because just talking to the cashier would leave me breathless. I know people often feel sorry for those who seem weak, and I don't want to be seen that way or treated condescendingly. Someone sent me a private message asking about our ages. I'm 21, Maddie's 30, Carly's 30, Anna's 31, Carly's fiancé's 31, and Jesse's 30. I hope that helps clarify things. Now here's what happened next. Someone suggested what I could say to Carly and I sent it to her. She replied, saying she thought I wouldn't mind and that I owed her a gift anyway, so she had chosen the cake as her gift. I replied that only guests are responsible for giving gifts. She asked what I meant, and I clarified that she hadn't invited me to the wedding. She left me on red. I messaged her fiancé something like, I don't want to cause drama or any misunderstandings, but I didn't commit to giving her the wedding cake. I sent him screenshots of our conversation, and he called me right away. He apologized and said he thought it was odd when Carly told him I had offered to give her the cake. I mentioned it seemed even stranger to me since I wasn't even invited. He asked if I was serious and I told him yes, but that I wasn't upset and understood if it was a private event. He apologized again and we ended a call. Around noon, Carly messaged me saying I was making a fuss over nothing, as if I couldn't just give her the damn cake. She didn't understand why I was being so sensitive, saying I'd given Maddie a cake and Jessie one as well, and asked me to explain why I couldn't do the same for her. I replied that Maddie's cake was a birthday cake, and although Jessie's was for her wedding, it wasn't a wedding cake. Carly answered that it didn't matter what the cake was for. I told her that if that was the case, she could buy one from the supermarket. She started typing, but I blocked her before the message came through. Carly then sent a message to the group chat sharing only the part where I told her to buy it at the supermarket, saying it was insulting and showed how little I valued her wedding. She claimed she was the victim to make sure no one thought she was the bad one. I responded to the group with a suggestion someone gave me in a comment, slightly adapted. Hey everyone, I want to clear up some confusion and rumors. I won't be attending the wedding because I didn't receive an invitation. I understood and made other plans for that time since the rest of you were invited. I'm not hurt or upset. It is what it is. The confusion about the cake is as baffling to me as it is to you. I only provided information on models and fillings from the place where I work, and that's all. I don't understand why it's expected that I cover a cake for a wedding I'm not invited to. It's true I suggested a supermarket, as she said the purpose of the cake didn't matter. I hope this clears everything up. I wish you all a wonderful time celebrating Carly and her fiancé. Congratulations in advance to the happy couple, and I hope those not involved don't feel caught in the middle. I posted screenshots of her reacting with a thumbs up when I sent the samples, along with all the conversations from that day and today. After a while, someone commented that the group wasn't meant for this kind of drama and that we should resolve it privately. Maddie jumped in and said, Carly demanded a cake in public, so it's only fair that everything is explained publicly. Another girl, Anna, commented, that's not the way to ask for a gift. Carly saw everything and sent a voice note saying she didn't know a simple cake would ruin my finances, but that it was fine, and that I shouldn't have shared everything in the chat. Then, she sent a second message saying that when I get married and don't have friends who can support me out with things from their jobs, I'll understand what it's like to be without support. A guy replied, tagging her, You didn't invite her? Carly responded, saying she had sent the invitation. Another guy asked, Do you have the confirmation? There was no reply. Question marks. Carly, No, but she should have told me when she saw she didn't get the invite. Jessie replied, saying she didn't like Carly's attitude, that she even considered not going, and would only attend for the fiancé's sake. Carly then said, So no one says I didn't invite you. Everyone can see here I'm inviting you now. I'll send an electronic invite since there's no point in printing one now. I replied not to bother, as I already had plans. Carly replied, There you all. See? Then, someone who hadn't spoken left the group.